It's day 3 at the US Open, and it's a day for the favourites because Iga wins convincingly. Jannik Sinner has brushed off his illness in Cincinnati. He's looking back to his best, winning in straight sets, and Coco, former champion, struggled her way through.
That's right, day 3 in the books, and I know I said it yesterday, business as usual on the men's side, where it was sort of business as usual on both sides on day 3, and we'll start off with the world number 1, like you said, brushed off that illness that he had in Cincinnati, and he looked back to his best again. He took out Kopriva in dominant fashion. I don't think either of us saw this going any other way. And the reigning defending champion, dangerous, but not tested whatsoever.
Yeah, Jannik Sinner is back. No one can talk about him not in form or struggling after what happened at Cincinnati. He is back to his best. We saw the forehands from him, the movement, the power, the pace. No one can really deal with this, I don't think, on a hard court. And the one thing which I was reminded of earlier is this time last year when he was at the US Open, it was only a few days after we heard about the case and everything going on. He then went on and won the US Open. This time round, he doesn't have such a cloud around him. And he did speak about that in the post-match interview. I don't know if I sent you anything, but it's fine if not. He's saying how this time round it's a little bit easier for him because he doesn't have to deal with all of that extra pressure of everyone talking about it. Of course, people still will be speaking about it, but I think the focus now is more so on his tennis and the greatness, because statistically he is up there with the very best players in the world. From what they did, if you look at what Djokovic, Nadal, more so at younger age, was able to do, Sinner is on track to do everything they're doing too. As much as he's a little bit older than Alcaraz, he's still young. I don't even know if he's reached his prime. And yet I'm looking at him on hard courts right now, and it's levels above what Daniel Medvedev was a few years ago on a hard court. And I thought he was the best player. Djokovic, of course, has been the most dominant player over the last few years or last decade or so on a hard court. For me, I just see Sinner taking that title and just no one really beating him. Because I think he is simply the best player, and it's going to be really tough for anyone to come close, especially a Jack Draper, who the other day I can't really sing the praises of him as much as I can Jannik Sinner.
No, definitely not. But there's just levels to the game, and Jack Draper may get to that level, but it may take a little bit more time to adjust, especially to big Grand Slam matches. Scott Barkley, never short of a funny tweet. He put out this one. Man, Jannik Sinner has normalized greatness so much that it borders on boring. This guy's just relentless. And yeah, it was just a dominant performance in his first round match. Only dropped 4 games en route to victory. They're only going to get tougher. I think that was the perfect matchup, if I'm honest, for Jannik Sinner, just to come back from illness. It's just somebody who's more of a challenger player. Kopriva, who he's more dangerous on clay courts. We've been there. We've seen him in person at challengers. He's pretty good on the clay. I wouldn't say he's much of a hard court threat, though, and especially not against the world number 1. There's nothing more to say, really, about Jannik Sinner in that first match.
No.
And we've sort of got similar sentiments for Iga on the other side. She brushed off her first round opponent, which was Arango. It was a dominant performance. It was a 1 and a 2. And she now sets a record for the most consecutive opening matches won in the Open era, breaking Monica Seller's record. So just, it's hard to beat Iga in a first round because you're not likely to be anywhere near her level, are you?
Yeah, and that is 65 consecutive WTA singles opening matches won in the Open era. The new record for Iga. She is very good in them early stages, because I've always looked at Iga as someone who demolishes any opponent, really. It was outside the top 10. I feel like we're going back to that now, but in her pomp, it was sort of outside the top 5. Just brushes through them so easily. We see breadsticks, we see bagels. One of the most dominant players on the women's tour we've seen for some time, sort of since that Serena Williams is of our generation. And she is a lot better than, say, a Sabalenka at this stage. I feel Saba's got the ability to drop a few more games. Halep, Kvitova, all of these other players, Muguruza, a lot of these great players, they often do lose games or sets early on in tournaments. With Iga, I think she is the most reliable player out of all of them we've seen since doing this podcast anyway, in an early round match against lesser opposition. She just dismantles them. Similar to a Jannik Sinner, I guess, right now, this version of Sinner. Alcaraz, you can't say the same about because he's prone to going off the boil for a little bit, 20 minutes here and there, or dropping a set, or going tight, go to a tie break. With Iga, it's quick. It's always efficient and quick. And I was reading quite a bit about her, really, because she was speaking to the press, and she's saying how she's feeling good, confident, in a better headspace at the moment. And based off that, I still am looking at her as the favourite. And let's see how she gets on.
Definitely. She's one of those players who, you'd have to be the top 5 to really give her a challenge, I think, at the moment, especially sometimes even top 3 or something. There was the big 3 on the women's side. We know Coco Gauff has given her a run for her money in the past, or in the recent past, but this current Coco Gauff, I still stand by it in the draw preview. If she makes it as far to play Iga, this Iga will take her apart. And the match against Tomljanovic, there's probably going to be some people coming in saying, oh, leave Coco Gauff alone, like she's just in a bit of a bad patch at the moment. She is still winning matches. I'll give her that. That's the only thing that I'll give as a positive right now for Coco Gauff. She's finding a way to win. But this is a first round of a slam, granted, not against a very easy opponent. You could have a lot easier opponent than Tomljanovic. But 3 hours to get through your first round match, and more double faults, 10 of them, and nearly 60 unforced errors. I mean, between the two of them, I think it was 115 unforced errors in this match. Some people saying it was a great spectacle for tennis. I don't think so. For me, a great spectacle for tennis would be a better ratio of winners against unforced errors. It might have had good drama, but for me, I don't want to watch so much drama. I want to see players playing their top tennis. Don't know about you.
We got a comment the other day, though, Ben, saying a good tennis match doesn't mean there's just loads of winners and not many unforced errors. Sometimes you've got to be in the match to see the ups and downs and be in the moment, and errors can create a more spectacle and interesting match. In this situation, I can't say I watched it or stayed up to watch it, but I did see some of the reaction, of course, the highlights. Coco, I think, needs to improve to win this tournament. I don't think she's looking at the levels to be able to compete with other players, despite her having a really good Grand Slam record. I've sent it to you now, and she only trails Iga and Sabalenka for winning percentage in women's singles matches among active players at Grand Slams. So Iga 83.5%, Sabalenka 78.5%, Coco 76.6%. Venus there, 75.9, and Rybakina, 73.1. So it's important to have a look at Rybakina. We'll speak about her in a second. It's a pretty good percentage, though.
It is. And I think that's just credit to her that she does have enough quality just to squeeze out victories when she's not playing well, which that is a sign of a champion. I won't deny that. And I've said Coco Gauff would be my year-end number 1. Just because of this performance doesn't mean that she can't go on and win the US Open. I think she can, but she has to improve as the rounds go on, and she has to give us something. I can't keep seeing double-digit double faults from her and this many unforced errors, because if she does, Iga will literally double breadstick her, I think, if she plays her, and that's no disrespect. Everybody, if you want to say in the comments any different, then please be my guest. But I think everybody has to be humble enough to admit that Coco Gauff right now is not playing anywhere near the level of Iga Swiatek. And if Iga gets back to that 35 match winning streak style Iga. And she's made adjustments on her serve. She's made little adjustments everywhere in her game right now, Iga, to get back to the top of the sport. You got to give her credit for that, because we sort of, don't know, she lost a bit of love on the channel because she was not performing and she wasn't making adjustments. Some people had a go when she got rid of her coach, that type of thing. But now look, obviously everything she did was for a reason, and she's back to the top of the sport again. She won Wimbledon, she won Cincinnati, and now she's looking like a rightful favourite for the US Open.
What, Coco Gauff?
No, Iga.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were still talking about Coco Gauff.
No.
I was shocked. But no, I agree with that. Just quickly, I wanted to speak about Rybakina. I know she's not played. We don't usually do this, but since she's on the screen and we didn't touch on her the other day, I think it'll be good. She obviously played Monday and won very easily. But she is someone who's a bit different to Coco Gauff in the sense that she's serving so well. She was the first player to win 100% of her first serve points in a Grand Slam since Ons Jabeur there, and she, I think, is getting back to her best. I don't know if you saw the image of her in 2025 versus 2024.
Yeah,
the difference is very evident. You can see she's put on a little bit more weight. We know she's suffered with a few different health issues, problems with her coach, who was her ex-boyfriend, a lot of things in her personal life. But if you look at the difference between these two images, you can see from 2025 to 2024, in my opinion, she looks a lot healthier. And I'm hoping that she is in a good place, both mentally and physically. And I think that's why we're seeing a better version of her. The last few years, she's been pulling out of events unexpectedly. And I think it's important not to comment too much on it because we don't really know what's going on inside her camp. But one thing I would say is, there's a quality tennis player in there. I am a big admirer of her. And I think this year, we're going to see her produce some really good results. She did extremely well in a tournament the last few months. You have to remind me which one it was. I know it was recently. She did very well.
Yeah.
And I think she's now going to do very well at the US Open too.
Yeah, she's definitely up there as one of the favourites, especially as she does have that incredible serve on her side. I'm happy when she looks happy on a tennis court, because we know that she has come into other tournaments and there's been a lot of uncertainty around her camp, that type of thing. And I think that that's one of the main reasons that she does go out of tournaments early, to be honest. I don't think there's anything about physical ability. I think it's all upstairs, and the mental struggles.
Not just that. Look at her. Look at physically how she's changed. She may have some health complications or things going on we don't know about, and we know all the problems with her ex-coach as well.
Yeah,
who I believe is now her coach again.
I think it's massive though. If you're not happy off the court and you're not happy in training, you're not and you're bringing that onto into an actual match at a slam, it's going to really affect your tennis. It's going to be something that's just playing at the back of your mind. Even if you're not thinking about it directly, subconsciously, you might have some sort of pit in your stomach throughout the whole way because you're thinking about something else. It's not a way to be playing tennis. And we know somebody else who's sort of had to deal with their own problems on and off the court, which is Naomi Osaka. And it's great to see her back playing some brilliant tennis again and looking the part. She always brings something special to a tournament. She's brought Labubu, which is a little mascot, but this little sparkling.
You don't even know what Labubus are, do you, Ben?
No, I don't. I do not.
Labubus is like a bit of a craze. So everyone's having them. They're very popular. You see them in shops. I saw one the other day. No, not really. I think it's missed my generation, but I know they're pretty expensive. From looking around the boot sales, I've seen they're in high demand.
Wow.
And very popular. So Labubus, I don't know even how to say it. That's what I'm saying. But I do know about them. I'm not a big fan. Let us know in the comment section. What do you make of them? And of course, Osaka likes her Labubu.
She does. And she had a matching, headpiece. Let's say headphones that have this sparkling roses and stuff attached. This is pretty impressive. I'm not sure I'd get that same set. I think that's more for her. Apparently her Labubu is called Billie Jean Bling, apparently. So not Billie Jean King. So that's what.
And what do you make about her tennis, Ben?
her tennis, I think, is fantastic.
Is it back to her best though? Because that's what people are saying. I saw
I
some tweets saying Osaka now is back to the Grand Slam champion self. I don't think so.
think I'm getting there, because I think the one
She's
thing that
not as good as
she
that.
struggled with was, she always struggled with it a little bit, but I think in more recent years she used to give up a lot in rallies. This Osaka isn't giving up so much, and she's chasing things down, and she's hitting the ball very, very clean, very good direction on her ball striking at the moment. And if she plays like that and keeps winning in straight sets, obviously her next match is against, is it Baptiste? So she beat Minnen, expect her to beat Minnen. Baptiste, slightly more difficult, but a still winnable match. I expect that to be another straight sets win for Osaka as well. And then a couple of wins under the belt, and who knows, you're in, well, collision course with Coco Gauff, isn't it, for a potential fourth round matchup? And if Gauff struggles through with another 3 hours, you got Donna Vekic next. That's not an easy match either for Coco Gauff. There could be a couple more long matches for Coco Gauff coming. And if Osaka's fresh, your prediction might be right. Who knows? Osaka might go through and knock out Gauff. But yeah, anything can change in a few matches.
Yeah, over to the men's. Altmaier Medvedev was the longest match so far of the US Open. Nothing separated them at all. 4 hours and 46 minutes. 190 points for Altmaier, 188 for Medvedev. Medvedev now 0-6 in best of 5 Grand Slam matches that went over 3 sets. So he seems to be struggling when it goes the distance, which is rare for a Serbian tennis player, because Djokovic seems to be better and better as the match goes on. So I think he needs some extra tips and training from Novak. But Altmaier is a great player in Grand Slams, and he's certainly capable of these special moments. As other ones on the men's was another Monfils 5-setter. Unfortunately, though, he went out.
He did. Yeah, that was sad to see, but I think that we will see more of that. Obviously, the later he gets in his career. Safulan.
The crowds were loving it, though. There was a packed stadium. Everyone was trying to get there. It was on one of the outside courts. And it was a really good atmosphere. Everyone sort of cheering him on. We know he loves playing with the crowd. But like you said, I think we're going to see more times him losing them than winning as he gets older.
For sure. And the same might have been said for another guy from Greece. But this was a good performance. And some people... I saw after the first set, some people were a bit naysayers, and they said, I saw the 6-4 loss in the first set to Muller, and somebody posted, should Tsitsipas and Medvedev just start playing paddle now? And that was one of the people's tweets. And I was like, oh, whoa, harsh. Look how he came back. He won 6-love, 6-1, and then credit to Muller, he made it a bit of a match in that fourth set. But that shows Tsitsipas actually got a bit of desire here. I watched his post-match presser as well, and he said, like, that was a real defining moment, that fourth set, because Muller was throwing lots of different things at him and was really trying to win that fourth set. The fact that he was able to get that over the line, mentally for him, that was huge, because he's really been struggling. He's the first to admit it. He's not been playing well at slams. He's not been in good form. But he said, this could be the difference for players when you manage to win a match like a 5-setter and you manage to get it over the line at the end of a set like that. And I thought he just played some great tennis, and I'm excited to see if he can continue it.
Yeah, and he's probably heading into this US Open relatively fresh, because all of the previous events he's not gone very far. And usually he is extremely good on the clay. He always starts the year in Australian Open very good as well. That's his best slam of a 75% win record, same as Roland Garros. But when you look at the US Open, it's 7 wins, 7 losses now, which isn't great at all. His worst slam, just marginally worse than Wimbledon. And I think it's because as the year goes on, after all the other tennis, he just gets a little bit burnt out and physically struggles to deal with the demands. That backhand loses its effectiveness completely, sort of coming to the US Open. But I agree, he was extremely good today, or yesterday. And that is the best performance we've seen him sort of since Dubai. So based off that, if he can continue in that way, then I think he's got some chances to go deep at the US Open.
Yeah, and I thought one good insight that he had, that's why I quite like him at post-match press conferences, because he does sort of give a lot away about his like mental state. And he said when he plays in a Grand Slam, he said if he goes out of a Grand Slam, but it was like a really good performance by him and he lost in 5 sets, he gains so much more from that than even some of these other matches when he's not playing well and potentially winning, or when he's not playing well and just goes out, because he's just like, I don't even know where my level's at right now. But he said, even if I was to have lost in 5 sets and I thought I gave it my all, said the one thing you don't want as a tennis player is knowing you could have given a bit more and then you lost the match. So that's a good insight, and that's a good mindset that I think he's got at the moment. And I think if that's his mindset coming into this tournament and it got him through this one, he's got Altmaier next. That's going to be a very, very competitive match, but a match he can definitely win.
Yeah, Musetti and Petchy Pericard, like I said,
Yep, you said
I knew
it.
it was going to be over 3 sets. It was, and Petchy taking the first. It's funny because both of the ones I said was a tiebreak, I think, to the opponent in the opening
True.
set. So it was tight, but it happened. And Musetti just sort of wore him off. And in the next rounds, yeah, it was solid from him.
What do you make
Felix
of this?
won straight sets. Expected
Before
that.
you go to that, just want this one. I got one random stat for Petchy Pericard, which I didn't even know. And this is from Oleg, who likes a random stat. Said Petchy Pericard failed to generate a single break point in the last 104 return games he played at non-clay court slams. He managed to simply get to deuce in 4 out of those 104 games.
I mean, this is a crazy stat. I don't know how they even worked it out, but
I know.
Someone's been watching far too much from Petchy Pericard.
That's
I'm
right.
not that surprised. He is very reliant on his service games.
Yeah.
And that's, I think, why he's such a top player, because he is extremely good behind his serve, even the serve +1 or the shots just afterwards.
Yep, agreed.
I think he needs to work on his return, clearly. But he has suffered that injury. So let's give him some time. He's young. I think he's developing into his body and getting used to the tour. But yeah, needs to improve these return statistics.
Indeed. You were just about to say about Felix, sorry, before I cut you off.
I said it. There's not much more to say.
Okay, another good call from you. You called Bublik. I should have really picked Bublik, but I went for the upset. Didn't happen. Bublik looking really good this year and still
in good form. He's on a winning streak, I believe.
Yeah, he's playing fantastic tennis. He got Cilic moving around the court, and I think that's what you need to do with the old guard. Just get them moving around as much as possible, and then the errors will come. He did some good volleys at the net as well.
It's 9 matches in a row.
It's impressive. I think that he's one of the standout performers of this year. Really, he's sort of come to the forefront. Somebody who's taking their tennis a little bit more seriously. Maybe he's swapping places with Daniil Medvedev now. Medvedev can become the joker, and maybe Bublik can slot into the top 10 somewhere at some point and start really competing in all of these big events. I think that Wimbledon really helped his confidence as well, as did Roland Garros. I think he played well at both of those tournaments. Obviously won Halle again. Yeah, exciting for Bublik. Another Sasha. Zverev, he won in straight sets as well. Not really much to say on or report on that. I think that was just a nice, comfortable victory for him. One last story just before we go. I don't know if there's any other matches you wanted to speak about.
No, not really. Not really. Had Admire breaking her streak and starting to get some wins under her belt, which is nice for her. But I'm not so big on her because I don't have her in my top 10 this year like last year.
Well done to Cerundolo. Came back from 2 sets to love down to win in 5.
That was good for my bracket, right? You had Arnaldi.
Yeah, that was very good for your bracket. I think you've had a few of these little ones which I've picked incorrectly at the moment. It's a bit annoying.
I think on the women, you're doing really well, though.
I think that doesn't normally happen. So that means Coco Gauff probably going to ruin that one for me. This was just one story. I didn't know if you saw this one just before we go. These aren't on the court, but maybe it is for Casper Ruud. Casper Ruud says his least favorite thing about playing at the US Open. and it is the smell of marijuana. He said, for me, this is the worst thing about New York. The smell is everywhere. Even here on the courts, we have to accept it. But it's not my favorite smell. It's quite annoying to be playing tired and just a few meters away, someone is smoking marijuana. We can't do anything about it unless the law is reversed. But I have strong doubts that that will happen.
Yeah, my comments really is I think you need to stop moaning and stop being a Karen. It's not the end of the world. I understand people don't like the smell, and most athletes, I'm sure, despise it because they would never take any such substance. But really, I don't think it matters that much. I think you just need to, like, if you compare tennis to whenever, like the 70s or the 80s, everyone with cigarettes, or even the 90s in the stand. I mean, cigars, it probably stunk of cigarettes and everything. So I don't feel like you just got to adjust, to the times. Sport as it is right now, I think players are wrapped in cotton wool more than they've ever been, not just in tennis, across all sports. Back in the day, it was not like that. It was a lot more hostile and challenging. So I think players need to just sort of roll up their sleeves. And that's my take on it.
I agree totally. I think he didn't need to even mention it, really, did he? Could have just
Oh, it's fine. I think it's fine. It's not. I don't have anything against him mentioning it. I think it's fair enough, and I can understand people not liking it. My nan hates it when we go to Spain. She's always complaining. It doesn't bother me so much. So it can depend on the person.
Exactly. I think it's just I'd say a generational thing, but he's not that old. But maybe it's just a Norwegian thing. Maybe it's not so prevalent over there.
Maybe an athlete thing.
Or maybe. Well, I've not heard Alcaraz talking about it, but maybe, like you say, the Spain connection there you were just talking about. Maybe he's used to it. Last but not least,
another last.
This one's just a fun one, in case nobody saw it. Italian photographer Ray Gubilo with a 1 in a million shot of Jasmine Paolini at the US Open. I don't think you could ever get a shot like this again. Like, this is just I've never seen a shot like it, but well done to this photographer. It's literally looking through her tennis racket in the exact circles and triangles. A mouth in the triangle, her eyes are in the circles in the middle of her racket. Brilliant.
Well, that's the good thing about Yonex then. It sort of makes a little mask for you. But let's wrap it up there. Thanks for watching, everyone. If you haven't already, hit the like button, subscribe if you're new, and we'll see you tomorrow for day 4 action.
See you then.